Gonna work. It is. BT Dubs, guys, I will be recording this lecture. I'll make a statement about that in just a moment. I just wanted to let you all know. Let's see if we can fix my camera. That's as good as getting. Welcome to Astronomy 191. I will be your tour guide, Jahi Gardner-Palmer. Welcome, and hopefully you will enjoy the journey. Since today's the first day of class for this class, I will do the general professor, go over the syllabus and stuff thing, and then we'll get out of here slightly early. Just a warning, this will be the only class where we get out early. Usually I tend to go right up until time, or maybe like 5 minutes before. But hey, I like to have a relaxing first day. Now I gotta figure out where I put everything. Aha. Okay. This is stuff we're gonna talk about today. As far as the initial roster, I'm not gonna pass around a piece of paper and have everyone sign it because COVID-19 sucks. So instead of that, what you'll do is you'll go to Blackboard, and let me put it in the student view so you'll see what it looks like for you. There's a section that says course information, start here. You will want to start there, and you'll click on it. And the first thing says syllabus acknowledgement. This is how I verify who has attended class and who has not. So you will want to make sure and do this acknowledgement. It basically says, do you acknowledge the syllabus? And you choose yes or no. If yes, you remain enrolled in this course. If not, or if you don't take this, you are dropped from the course. I have to turn in my no-shows, quote unquote, by next Tuesday. So please make sure and get this done ASAP. It takes 5 seconds, but it's very important. Course information, start here. All right, since you have to do a syllabus acknowledgement, let's go over this here syllabus. Excuse me. I apologize, my throat is killing me. I forgot how hard it is to talk for 5 hours. Which, I mean, that's my job. You think I'd be used to it by now, but I'm always surprised. I was like, Okay. Water? Oh, coffee. Really? That's healthy and acidic. Okay, let's talk about this syllabus. The syllabus is under Blackboard in the part that says syllabus. That's the name of the class. That's the name of the college. That's the PeopleSoft number. This is when it is. It's spring. That's how many credits. That's me, Jahi Gardner-Palmer. That's my division. There's my email address. Here's my phone number. It's my office phone number. If you call that, I will answer, as long as it's school time. It's also forwarded to my cell phone, so even if I have to leave campus for something, I will be able to get back to you or answer. If I do call you back, I will call you back from an unregistered number because I block my number when I call out. If you want to see me in my office is located at L221H, which is right down Shaw a little bit. Here are my office hours. They're probably going to change because I made these last semester before I realized when my classes were, so I'll have to fix these. However, if I'm not in class and you walk over to the office and I'm not in there, then I'm probably on a virtual meeting, which is why I sent that announcement to everyone, hopefully everyone, that says, click here for a link to my virtual office hours. Then I'll be on those. My preferred method of communication is email. I generally get back in about 24 hours. If I don't get back in 24 hours, it's because I suck or I forgot to check my email. So either call me or email me again. Weekends, it's 48 hours. That was a joke. I'm going to get back to you. Healthy at Sky CTC. This teaches you how to stay healthy as possible. Here's a message about class recordings. This is just where it tells you that I may record the lectures at some time. Don't worry, your face will not appear in the lecture. However, if you ask a question, your voice may be on the recording, so I want you to be aware of that. If you are someone who doesn't want your voice to be recorded, feel free to email me a message and I'll read it out in class or something. So I don't want you to be afraid to participate because of the recording, but I do also want to make you aware of it. The reason why I record classes is because I now have a conglomerate of hybrid classes. So what I will do is I will record the lecture on Tuesday, and then I will post it on Blackboard. There's going to be a section called videos, course content. It'll be down here. We'll say videos. And on Thursday, which is a different group, I will also record the lecture, and I will put it in the video section. So you will have a total of 2 lectures per week. One of them you will be in class for right now. The other lecture will be a recording of the lecture I do Thursday. You don't have to be on a team meeting or anything. However, if you want to, I can put the link to the team meeting somewhere. So remember, 2 lectures per week, 1 in person, 1 will be a video. The video will be down here. Questions about how many lectures per week? Awesome, we're doing great. I apologize for my low energy. Usually this is the time where I'm like super energetic, but I think walking back up those stairs, that was it for me.
It's because also like perfectly like right at like lunchtime.
Yes. And I just had my healthy salad. Okay.
Salad. What kind of salad?
Lettuce. No, I had, and by the way, I'm really easy to sidetrack, so that's hilarious. I had ham on it because it was low calorie ham. So go me. Me too. All right, I'm gonna force myself to get through this really quickly. Since we do get to leave after this, let's just like barrel through it. Technology introductions. Calculator. Here. The TI-30X2S or the TI-80 series are the 2 that I recommend. I am proficient with both this one and this one, meaning if you have any questions on how to enter something, I got you. This one comes in colors. I have one that matches my phone and my Nintendo Switch. You can get whatever color you would like. They are $20 or less, which isn't nothing, but it's less than the $100 that these cost. However, again, I am proficient with them both. I can tell you exactly what to press on either one of this one or any of these series. Any calculator that does parentheses, squares, and square roots will work. I just won't be able to assist you as easily. So if you have a Casio calculator from your chemistry class, they work fine. I just don't personally know how, so we'll have to spend some time Googling how to work those functions. I recommend this one. They have them at Walmart. Okay, that part, let's go through the rest of the syllabus real quick. Required textbooks. You ain't got to buy a textbook. In fact, you actually already paid for the textbook. Mr. Palmer, if I paid for the textbook, then where it at? I'm sorry, I don't. I usually don't talk so ridiculously. If I already paid for the textbook, then where is it? Allow me to show you. You'll go to course content, textbook and assignments. Textbook and assignments. You'll click on it. One of the options says Pearson eText. Now, you may have tried this and failed. Watch what happens when I try to go through the student portal. It says I accept, and then it's just going to kick me out. Well, it's going to ask me to register. There seems to be some sort of weird issue going on with Pearson right now, so you might not be able to access it yet. We're going to get all of this fixed. As soon as we get it, I'll say, hey, everything's working. You'll be able to access it. but that's where it will be. You don't need to have had Math 150 as of yet. Any math that we do in this class, I will walk you through. So just you graduated high school or you got your GED, so you're good enough. Of course, having taken Math 150 will make it easier for you, but if you haven't, don't panic. I'm here with you to help you through. Let's talk about some course competencies. This is where I start getting excited. One of the things we're going to learn in this course is to interpret the apparent motions of the sun, moon, and stars from the perspective or as viewed from Earth's surface. For instance, if you go outside right now, find a nice clear giant field, and you look that way, there's some ground. Just go straight that way. If you look over this way, you look straight, there's just some straight ground. In fact, if you look everywhere, it just looks like a giant flat plain, excepting any mountains and stuff. If my only tools were my eyes, then it makes sense for me to assume that the Earth is flat. The Earth, from a local perspective, appears flat. We need to talk about why. We need to find out what that means. Another example, the sun pops up over there, right? And it does this number. And it goes across the sky, and then it disappears on that side. And if I stand here and wait for about 12 hours, it's going to pop back up and do the same thing. And then again, and again. The sun, from a local perspective, appears to orbit around the Earth. We need to talk about why. We need to find out what that means. If the only tools I have are my face, my eyes, then saying that the sun orbits around the Earth makes perfect sense. Same with the moon. So then we need to describe our understanding of the cosmos from a historical context. Like I said, using only the tools of my eyes, all of those assumptions I've made make sense. So one of my favorite things in all of astronomy is using old viewpoints, understanding it, and then moving towards modern understandings. Once I become able to utilize the tools of math and the technology of the scientific method, I can then see that the sun orbiting around the Earth no longer makes sense, despite my perspective from my local viewpoint. So I like to spend some time consolidating the information that we receive with our eyes from the information that we can understand using greater tools and technology. If you try to math the flat Earth, it blows up so quickly. If you try to math the sun orbiting around the Earth, it just like crumbles in your hands. And we want to look at that. We want to acknowledge how we got to what we know. One of the fallacies I think people make in all of science is just assuming it's true, right? We don't want to just assume it's true. We want to calculate stuff. We want to understand how we got to perspectives, and we want to build up the framework and the foundation of scientific understanding. That way we can use it for stuff. I don't know. Something. Let's see. We'll learn to apply Kepler's and Newton's laws. I'm a pretty big fanboy of Kepler's and somewhat of Newton's. My undergrad major is in physics. My minor is astronomy and math. So I really love me some physics. And a lot of times people think, ooh, astronomy, pretty pictures, awesome. And there are a lot of pretty pictures. But we got to know why those pictures are pretty, right? So I like to make sure and use that physics underpinning to help create the understanding to truly appreciate the beauty of any of the pictures that we look at. So I'm a fan of physics, so you'll get a bit of it. Compare and contrast the characteristics of various classes of solar system objects. What does that mean? What's a planet? Okay, well, it's this thing. Cool. What's the moon? Well, it's also this thing. Are those the same thing? Maybe. So we got we got to figure out what the difference between those two is. Like, what makes a moon a moon? What makes a dwarf planet a dwarf planet? So we have to. One of the important parts of science and physics is definitions. I need to define an object. Am I using the classical definition of what a planet is? Am I using the modern 2020 definition? Or am I using the pre-modern, pre-2006 definition of planet? And these are three different things. And if I don't explicitly state that, then how do you know what I'm talking about? I could be just making up stuff. Describe the solar nebula hypothesis. This is one of my favorite things in solar system astronomy ever, for multiple reasons. One reason is I have a hard time speaking clearly, so saying solar nebula hypothesis just feels really funny when I say it, so I like saying it a whole bunch. And also the processes of that method of formation requires just law of physics, law of physics, law of physics, which of course makes me love it. So we'll spend some time on this. You'll get really sick of hearing me say solar nebula hypothesis for the formation of solar systems. Describe the geologic and atmospheric processes and properties. Basically, we're going to look at what happens on Earth compared to what happens on other planets. Say, is this true? Is this the same? If it's not, why is it different? What does it all mean? It's fine. Okay, workplace ethics agreement. So the workplace ethics agreement is usually an agreement for attending classes. However, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, I am not going to require that you are here a certain number of times. So we're not going to necessarily agree that you're going to be here. We're not going to agree that you only miss 4 days or something. The agreement now is that if there's work that needs to be done, you'll do it. You are responsible for your work. You're responsible for what's presented in class during your lecture time. Basically, all this says is, hey, don't suck. It's your usual student stuff. We all know this. We're all adults or nearly adults, so I'm not going to go through all this. Do your job. You're good. Here's a withdrawal policy. This course does not require a proctored exam. There's financial aid stuff. I skipped the part. There it is. So let's just say that I'm a garbage teacher, right? I'm not able to help you get the information that you need. Please understand that your education is a priority. So if I am one of the things standing in the way of you learning, please contact my dean, Dr. Jennifer Shoemaker. And she'll get me right. What she'll do is she'll contact me and tell me what I need to fix. Freedom from retaliation says that I won't know who made any complaints or what complaints were made specifically. All I will know is that I need to correct X thing. So again, your education is a priority. So if anything is standing in the way of you learning, I want to make sure you have the resources to get past that. And if I am the thing standing in your way, this is who you want to get in contact with. If you have a grievance, discrimination grievance, there's a long list of stuff and I forgot all the words, but if you have another grievance that's not necessarily me being terrible at my job, you can get in contact with Dr. David Travis. For instance, maybe another student is causing issues and you've communicated with me and I haven't solved the issue sufficiently, or any situation. Here's his contact information. He's a cool dude. He'll help you out. We also have counseling services. So if you have issues ranging from professional to personal, you can contact Kayla Lemur. She is also a cool dude, and she will help you out. Here's her contact information. Plagiarism or cheating, don't plagiarize, don't cheat. Awesome. Here's how the grades are calculated. Please notice that all of the grades start at the tens spots. Well, not that one. So all of the grades start at the 10 spot, which means an A starts at a 90. Please be aware that an 89.9959997 is not a 90. That's a B. And A starts at 90. Blackboard goes out, I want to say 7 decimal spaces, if I'm not mistaken. So please make sure you reach the threshold if you want the grade. Any questions so far? How y'all feeling? Y'all super excited about astronomy learning? Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I wasn't very good at anatomy, but it's very interesting to me.
Right. I mean, both are interesting, but I prefer to learn about space and like.
Sure. Well, we all have preferences, right?
Yeah.
I'm not hating.
Yeah, I get that.
Okay, so let's find out about what we're actually going to be doing in this class. How do you get your grade? Homework is 22%. Mr. Palmer, how do we access our homework? Good question, hypothetical student. In order to access your homework, you will go to course content, which has all the course content. Textbook and assignments has the textbook and the assignments. You'll click on it. Here's your e-text. Here are your assignments. You'll click on that. And hopefully it's going to work for me. It seems to be working. Awesome. And it will pull up either a list or a calendar. You'll notice that there's an assignment due, Introduction to Mastering Astronomy, due Thursday night at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's 2 days away from now. You will notice that there's an assignment due Thursday night at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This assignment's worth, I want to say, 0.5 points. The point of this assignment is to verify if people can access their assignments or not, and to see what I might need to help you with additionally. Please take the time to access this homework assignment and get it done. If you attempt to access it and you're not able to gain access, please send me an angry email that says, "Hey, Mr. Palmer, I can't get into my homework. What's up?" Because there have been some issues with Pearson recently, I think what happened is when I created the course, I used my old framework that I always use, and they said, no, we're doing new stuff. And the administrator added the new stuff, but instead of the new stuff covering over the old stuff, they're both there. So when you try to get into one, it tries to like take half the information and put it in each version, and it just blows up. So try your hardest to see if you can get in there. If you can't, please let me know. Mr. Palmer, when are the homework assignments due? We'll get to the due date calendar shortly.
I have a question about this Blackboard in general.
Yes, ma'am.
I guess the first one. Why is it always set for Eastern time?
Well, yes, sir. The servers are in, not Franklin, they're in like Frankfurt or Elizabethtown. Some of the servers are
I
in
just always worried about, wondered about that because it's been like that.
So one of the benefits of switching to Blackboard Ultra is that everything should be converted to local time zones. However, instead of that happening, it did not happen. So it's still in Eastern time. I don't know. I don't know. We should fix it. Is that a question back there? I saw like a hand kind of look like it was going up. No?
You might be able to change the Mr. Henry, and be able to change it to standard temperature. I'm pretty sure.
I'm going to go ahead and leave it. And I appreciate your recommendation, but this is all held together with bubble gum right now. So I'm just like, if I change anything, it's just going to like crumble. But the due dates all say 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please be aware what that means for you is get it done an hour before that. I recommend turning everything in by 8 o'clock. just to make sure. That gives you enough time, because I guarantee you, when anything is due, your laptop's going to explode, or the servers are going to crash, or a dragon is going to come. Yeah, something. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'll stop saying, making jokes about how terrible stuff is. Well, I've been joking a lot today just to get myself.
Listen, I love that kind of stuff.
But I'm pretty, like, one of the things that most of my students will tell you is that I'm very whimsical. I'm super, like, happy-go-lucky, but everything I'm saying is also deadly serious. So please don't let my fluffiness distract you. This is all just a mask that I'm wearing, because underneath it is Well, I'm gonna take the mask off a bit for you all as we continue through the syllabus. But we'll wait a few seconds. You'll know when we get there. Journals. Let's talk about journals. Please notice journals are 11% of your grade. They are that way to make sure that you can't get an A if you don't do your journals. So it's over 10% of your grade. Every Monday, you'll receive a writing prompt about astronomy. All you have to do is read the writing prompt and then answer it. Let's look at an example. In course content, journals. Inside, you will find your journals to be completed each Friday of the semester. Journal 1. It says, hello and welcome. And it says, for this journal entry, I want you to write about a professional astronomer. Okay, I'm going to fix it. I want you to find information about a professional astronomer. And then it asks you to tell what that astronomer's name is, where do they work if they're still alive, why did you choose them, why are they famous, what contributions have they made, basically just general information about this. Also, it says, tell me as many cool facts as you can about the astronomer so that I have a good idea of who they are professionally. There's no minimum length. If you can answer all of those questions in one sentence, have at it. However, if you don't answer all of those questions in one sentence, you have not met the threshold for your 10 points. So that's a risk, right? If you're like, oh, I just want to get this done. Awesome, as long as you have responded to all of these things. Please note that the journals are designed to help you dive more deeply into the world of astronomy, so don't be afraid to use Google for answers. All of these are made specifically for Google. One of them asked about conspiracy theories, and people are like, how are we supposed to know that? And I'm just like, you have a computer in your left hand, use it. Just literally, you can type, what are some conspiracy theories, or who is an astronomer? And it will pop you up. They're worth 10 points. Except for the last two. The way I grade these is, I read all of them. The best, most thorough answer that responds to all points in the prompt and has additional information that fits in there receives 10 points. And that's the threshold. If you have met that level, you also get 10 points. If not, you get less. So your job is to write the best journal entry possible. More than likely, everybody gets 10 points. It's not that challenging, but just be aware.
Are they all usually 10 points?
They're all 10 points except for journal entry 15, which is 20 points, and journal entry 16, which is 50. That's like your journal final. And of course, the last two will say, this journal entry is worth X amount of points. Here's this extra work. But I had all of them saved and ready. Once the new shell was put in there, whoop, they're all gone. So I'll be getting these put all back for you so you can see them all at one time. Or at least a week before they're due, or Monday. The way people usually fail this class, there are two ways. One way is the journals. They're like, well, I've gotten all of them done. I'll just not do this one. Well, I got most of them done. I'll just skip these. Well, most of my journals are done. I'll just wait for a while and get my homework done. Whoops, I forgot to get my homework done. Oh no. Now I've lost a quarter of my grade. So these journals, the hard part is the discipline every Friday. Does everybody understand that there's a journal entry due every Friday? Yes? No? Okay. The reason why, if I repeat something, it's generally because in the past I have said something, assumed everyone heard me, and they did, but then they're just like, oh, we didn't know we had a journal entry due every Friday. Mr. Palmer, what about spring break? Still a journal entry every Friday. Okay. We're almost done. Lunar observation. This is the second way people fail this class. The lunar observation itself is super easy, but the discipline and repetition required to complete it is challenging, right? And that's the whole point of the exercise. Let me go to the actual assignment, which is in course content. Lunar observation calendar. For this assignment, you need to observe the way the moon appears in the sky. That's your job. But you're going to need to do it for 28 consecutive days. And for each one of those days that you observe the moon, you will want to draw what you see on a moon sheet, which I have placed here. So just go outside with your moon sheet, look at the moon, write down the time and date, draw it, and then you've done it. There are 5 pieces of this assignment. Number 1, there must be 28 daily observations. This is the key aspect. If you're missing a day, you didn't do it, you get 0, right? So this is in bold to let you know that this is, I won't even look at it unless this is completed. Make sure you shade in the dark part and leave the light part light. Give the date and time. On the first day of each one of the main phases, put the phase there, like first day of full moon, just write full. And lastly, where is it? There you go. Lastly, on a separate sheet of paper that you will also submit the same way, explain the cause of the phases. Why do those phases exist? Be very descriptive. Tell me as much as you know about it. The phases happen because of X. Tell me what it tells you about the shape of the moon, the shape of the earth. Just, it's your opportunity to show off. Again, the person that has the best answer will get all 25 points. If you reach that threshold, you also get 25 points. If not, you will get less. So usually this is the determining factor on who gets what grade. Also doing it is important. You'll notice that there's an extra 1 point there. That extra 1 point is putting your name on it. And you don't have to submit it to me. You will submit it here. Yes, that is perfectly fine. You can take a picture of it. You can scan it. If you want, you can make an Excel spreadsheet and then use your touchpad to shade in all of the moon circles, whatever is easiest for you. Then you'll just go here, attach it here, submit it here. Attach it here.
Question, could we start that today?
You sure could. Be aware, the assignment requires at least 28 days to complete. So as long as you have 28 days left in the semester, have at it. Last semester, I had people asking me if they could start on November the 15th. And I was like, sure, go ahead and start. They submitted their assignment on time by December the 4th, and I gave them 0 points because it's impossible for them to have observed for 28 days in a row at that point. Now, I know you're thinking, Mr. Palmer, what if the skies are cloudy? Or what if I have to work or something. Please do your best to observe the moon on each one of the days because the discipline is part of the exercise. But please use all resources to which you have access. I'll leave it at that. So it's better to just go outside and do it. But if you can't go outside and do it, then use your tools. Okay. We are almost done. The tests will be in the same place as the homework assignments. I don't have to talk too much about that. Final exam is in the same place as the homework assignments. Don't have to talk too much about that. But I do want to show you how the homework assignments will be organized. Here I have some dates. These are the dates that the journal entries are due. So that way you have access to when they're due. You'll also notice that on February the 6th, homework assignments 1, 2, and 3, and test 1 are all due. Now you might be thinking, goodness gracious, Mr. Palmer, that's a lot. You have 4 weeks to do 4 things. Homework assignments 1, 2, and 3 will become visible as soon as Pearson is fixed. Test 1 becomes visible a week before it's due. I recommend starting all the stuff on January the 15th. So I have not only when all of the assignments are due on here, it also tells you when I recommend you starting it. I teach by chapters mostly. So homework assignment 1 goes along with chapter 1. 2 goes with chapter 2. 3 goes with chapter 3. And test 1 is over those 3 things. Let me go into where the homework is so I can actually show you how that will look. I'm aware right now, if you're even able to access it, it will look like a mess. Let me go to my version of it. If I go to my version, it takes me to the older one, which looks better. See, I'm just going to move all these assignments here. They're always going to be due on a Saturday. And of course, I'll make them all visible. So they'll all be due on this day. And then 4 weeks later, you'll have 3 more assignments and another test due. And then 4 weeks later, you'll have 3 more assignments and a test due. Does that make sense? And like I said, I make sure that you can see it because since all the craziness that's going on, I want to make sure that you have as much information as you need to be successful. And please don't hesitate to ask. I know I'm weird sometimes, but I am very concerned with making sure all of my students do their best. So don't be afraid to ask me for help. And apparently also I'm a goober, because now I'm going to have to get back into my pad. Hello, people watching this video at home. Last semester I got in a lot of trouble because people started skipping class, so I started being really angry on the videos. And I was like, of course you would know this had you came to class when you were supposed to. And my dean was just like, don't do that, dude. And she's like, just do your job, man. Okay, we're almost done. Got a few more serious things to say, and then we can be on our way. Here's some instructor guidelines. Be aware that astronomy is a process. The learning of astronomy is a process. And both the practice itself and the learning of the practice require active engagement. Please don't let the pretty pictures fool you. A lot of folks take this class because, hey, pretty pictures, and I respect that, but understand this is a science, and like all of the sciences, it can be challenging, and it requires diligent study. There's a discipline that's intrinsic to it, hence the journals and the observations. A large part of astronomy was and is observation, so we want to practice that. When I was my second to last year of my undergrad, I had observational astronomy, and oh my gosh, it was terrible. We had to go up to the telescope in Western and observe the apparent motion of a star. We did it every other night, and it was winter and it was cold, and this was like 90% of your grade. It was like do this or fail, and it's challenging, right? But observation is a part of astronomy, so I want to give you all a bit of that. What I'm saying is your hardest, best effort is required to pass this course. Yes, it's easy, but you slack a little bit and it's just like a slide down to the bottom. So heed my warning, don't sleep on it. All right, I'm going to be negative here for a second. No late work is accepted. Now, what I used to have on here in red was no late work is accepted under any circumstance ever at all, is what it said. But apparently that was too strong of language, so I had to change it to just no late work is accepted. Please understand that this is not a suggestion. Please don't email me asking for an extension. Mr. Palmer, my computer blew up. Is it okay if I turn this in late? My answer will be simply no. Now, in the past, when I do this, I always get a call from my boss saying, hey, I have a student report that you were rude to them or you were condescending or something. And so in order to keep that from happening, any requests that I have for extensions, I will respond no, and then I will just forward it directly to my dean, and that's just to save me. I will also send her a copy, even though she has it, of my syllabus with this underlined. Please, please heed my warning. No late work is accepted. That makes sense? Can I hear a yes? Thank you all very much. I appreciate that. I don't like being all hateful and stuff. But this is one of those things where I'm just like, extra credit is built into the homework assignments. So do the homework assignments. There's points that don't take anything away but will add to it. So do your best on those. Also, no makeup work will be accepted. So here's my recommendation. Since all of your homework assignments and tests are due like on the same day, there's 4 assignments due at a time, please don't wait that night to start it, because this is what's going to happen. You're going to start it. Bless you. You'll start it. You'll get your answers. You'll press submit, and then you're going to see a message that says server call failure. And what that means is that when it talks to the server's just like, I don't know who you are. So it just throws the information away. So you'll have worked for 4 hours on everything, and it's just in the trash now. And now you don't have 4 hours left to get anything done. You send me an email. Mr. Palmer, I got kicked out. Both of these are in play. Here's the only thing that can destroy any of these. If the system itself is not working for me, right? If the system itself is not working for me. Now, if you send me an email a week before the assignments are due and say, hey, Mr. Palmer, my stuff's not working, I'm going to work with you. We're going to make sure and get you done, right? Because that's not your fault. I can check my version and the student version. But if I get an email 5 minutes before things are due, Are you really having troubles, or did you just not do it? So, like I said, try it out, work on it. Every time you have an issue, even if you sent me 5 million, just send me another email that says, "Hey, it's not working easily. I tried to log in and it's not going in." So I can log it, and that way, it's not your fault. You've done everything. That makes sense? Okay. Yeah, I think it's pretty straightforward once we get Pearson working, which I guarantee you it'll be fixed Thursday. I don't really guarantee. That wasn't a real guarantee recording. That was just me being funny. I hope it will be fixed by Thursday. Okay, so that's the whole syllabus. Let's finish this up, and then we're good to go. I feel like I already read this because I've taught this class a few times today, but astronomy counts as a gen ed science for your AA/AS degree. It's awesome. It also teaches you practical applications of algebra that you already know, gives you some practical skills. Hopefully it helps you increase your critical thinking skills. And one of the things I want to eliminate is, like, us as people, our ability to just believe something's true without questioning it or testing it. And also, astronomy can help teach you more about your position in the universe. And I don't mean that spiritually, I mean physically, your position in the universe. And eventually, once we learn enough about this, I get to start asking the question, does physical location even mean anything physically? Like, is it even a real thing? The answer is no. But we get to talk about that. It's pretty cool. So instead of me asking you all while you're taking the class, I'm going to give you a very short version of how I ended up teaching astronomy. I'm timing myself because if I don't, I'll just talk forever. Okay. So growing up, my parents always said, "Oh wow, Monsaw, that's my middle name. You're so smart." And I didn't know that they were just telling me that because I was their child. I thought that I was literally super intelligent, right? I thought I was so smart. So I'm going through my whole elementary school career thinking that I'm super smart, even though there's no evidence of it, right? Now, I've always been able to speak extraordinarily well. I can pull words out of everywhere, but there's no physical evidence, no actual evidence of me being intelligent, right? But I still think I'm the smartest person ever. As a child. In 6th grade, I was on the debate team in the math department. However, I sucked at it. And what I found is that if I tried really hard at something, I sucked at it as far as learning. And if I didn't try, I sucked at it. So I just thought I was too good, right, to do anything. And I just didn't have to try, even though when I did try, I failed miserably. So I'm on this debate team, and the teacher director is just like, "Okay, well, you still get to be here because you're a child, and we don't want to put you in the trash can. But we're going to have you just go over here to this science research quick recall part because you can talk well. Maybe you can just read somebody else's information." And we learned about astronomy. And as I learned about astronomy, I figured out something. I have a hard time learning stuff. However, I can remember things, right? So I'll remember what I read, even if I have no idea what it means. So I found out that when it comes to science stuff, I could just remember facts and truths and steps and processes and information, even if I didn't understand it in my heart. Someone asked me to explain the quadratic equation, and I can. What does that mean? At the time, I would have no idea. So I became really good at physics, not physics, astronomy, and science stuff. I still think at this point, I still think I'm the smartest person ever, right? No evidence, none, still no evidence. I made D's all through middle school. I think I made a C once, maybe. Again, still thinking I'm the smartest person ever. In high school, I didn't have to learn anything, not because I was so smart, but because, well, the high school, I guess maybe they weren't trying to challenge people. So had I tried to learn something, who knows if I would have been able to. I had no idea how to learn. I was so convinced that I was super intelligent that I had no idea how to learn anything. And once I got out of high school, after by the way, I got kicked out of high school. Once I got my GED, I realized that I might not be as smart as I think I am. So this is 19 years, right? 19 years of my life, and I finally started to think, oh goodness gracious, I have an artificially inflated sense of myself. And that was hard to deal with. Like I was able to pass the GED no problem because I had just left high school. So I was like, whoops. I guess I better go to college. But how am I going to pay for college? Well, here's the thing. I had no money. So I'm like, I have no money. If I go to college, I'll have debt, which is also no money. So I guess I'll just go ahead and rack up this debt. So just bad decisions, right? Just making bad decisions everywhere. So I went to school, talked to an advisor who I think he's still there, maybe. I have stories about him. Anyway, so I'm talking to him. He's like, well, what do you want to do? What do you want to go to school for? And I was like, well, what's hard? He's like, well, I think physics is very challenging. And I think it would be very challenging for you. And I'm like, I'll do that. I'll do physics. He's like, well, I'm looking at your ACT scores. Is there something else you might want to do better? Maybe something that might be a better fit for you? And I'm like, no, I'm going to go ahead and get this physics. With a astronomy minor and math minor. He's just like, okay, well, whatever. So now I'm in classes with people that make ACTs on, make 36s on 30Ts on ACTs, high scores, and I'm just like, whoops, I don't know any of this stuff. So let me tell you how I passed, and the story's almost over. I passed by going to class, getting out of class, going to work, getting out of work, studying for 8 hours, sleeping for 3 hours, and then going back to class. And this is how, for 6 years, I made it through college, studying a crap ton. So when someone says to me, oh, Mr. Palmer, I'm not good at math, I don't want to hear it, right? Nobody's good at math. You only get good at math by practicing a lot. You only get good at physics by practicing a lot, right? None of this sense just comes to us. If you're a genius, it comes to you. That's not me. It might be you, whatever. After I got my undergraduate degree and working at Minute Mart for 2 years, that's where I worked at Minute Mart with my $60,000 bachelor's degree. I decided to get my master's degree, and I did. And then after not being able to find a job anywhere for 8 months with my $20,000 master's degree, I decided to come work here. Actually, they hired me. I was like, woo, finally a job. So currently I'm working on my Ph.D. in emergency management, specializing in critical infrastructures and diversity in emergency management. So that ties together a whole bunch of the things I like: physics, nuclear forensics, diversity, and saving people's lives from really weird disaster events. And I love teaching. Because learning was so challenging for me, I like helping other people learn. So I teach by steps. I teach, if you see this, think this, do this, right? So I don't just say, oh, you should know this. I'm like, okay, here's the thing. You see this thing. If you see anything that looks like this, follow X process. And once you get this result, think X thing about it. And hopefully by steps, and then using your current base of knowledge, you can gather the understanding. And that was my life story. That's why I'm a teacher. I like helping people learn stuff because I was just so bad at it. And now I think a lot of it was just to prove to myself that I was that smart. And then once I accepted that, hey, I'm just a regular guy, I started feeling a little bit better about life. Let's see, Stellarium, we ain't got to use that. All right, short video. We're done. That's usually when people are like, yeah, woo, get it.
What is the most?
All right, well, I got to go fix this.
What is the most astounding fact you can share with us about the universe? The most astounding fact. The most astounding fact is the knowledge that the atoms that comprise life on Earth, the atoms that make up the human body, are traceable to the crucibles that cooked light elements into heavy elements in their core under extreme temperatures and pressures. These stars, the high mass ones among them, went unstable in their later years. They collapsed and then exploded, scattering their enriched guts across the galaxy. Guts made of carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, and all the fundamental ingredients of life itself. These ingredients become part of gas clouds that condense, collapse, form the next generation of solar systems, stars with orbiting planets. And those planets now have ingredients for life itself. So that when I look up at the night sky, and I know that, yes, we are part of this universe, we are in this universe, but perhaps more important than both of those facts is that the universe is in us.
All right, we'll go ahead and stop there. I think the music is trying to evoke some sort of emotion from it, and I'm not a fan of emotion in my science. But I get the point, right? It's like, hey, this is pretty. Look how pretty this is, and it's spiritual. I'm not quite to that point. I'm just like, I like following steps and learning stuff about how stuff works. So that's the angle at which I look at it. And the reason why I say that is because sometimes this course rankles up against people's personal beliefs. That is not my job to question that. I won't be questioning anything. I will give you this information. I will give you processes to follow to learn the steps taken. Do with it what you will. That was Dr. Neil deGrasse Tyson talking there. And has anybody in here ever played D&D? Anybody?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll talk to you about Game Club later. So in D&D, there's like this character class called Sorcerer. They have super high charisma. They're like weirdly attractive for no reason. And Dr. Tyson, so he came to Western my last year of my master's degree. We took him out to dinner, and I'm sitting right beside him, and as he's talking, I'm just like, wow, everything he says is so important and so profound. It was so weird, but then you're just like, is it that profound, or is he just magic? He has the strangest charisma it's ever. I ran away, but anyway, he's a cool guy, super smart. You can even choose him for your astronomer if you want to, but you ain't got it. Pick who you want. That's all I got for today. I am worn out talking. Thank you all very much. This video will be uploaded shortly. Thursday evening, the second video will be uploaded. I will see you all next Tuesday. Try to do that assignment if you can. Awesome. If you can't, email me, do your journal. Hasta luego.